Andy, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's an honor, privilege to have you in.
Thank you so much. Thanks
Let's
a lot
start
for
with
having
this
me.
one.
Sure.
When you start realizing that you like to be a hairdresser,
So the idea of becoming a hairdresser or a hairstylist really started with me when I was back in my country, which was Iraq. I would say I was about 8 years old. That's when I realized that I really liked hair. Every time I would look at hair, I would want to, pick up the brush and just, play with hair. And that's how I found out my talent and, and what really inspired me.
okay, there was any like a particular incident or a person inspire you then to pursue that?
Honestly, back then, not really. I wouldn't say that there was anything that really inspired me. As you know, back in Iraq, there wasn't social media back then.
Yes.
There wasn't. The only thing that we had was TV, but there wasn't really anything that was hair related. Being on TV. So it was just a matter of seeing hair tools right in front of me, which were, the brushes, the bobby pins, the hair ties, and seeing, my mom do her hair or my cousins doing their hair. So that's how I pretty much found out what I really love.
What time you came to Australia? I mean, what year?
I came to Australia back in 2005.
Okay, and
Yeah.
then straight away you pursued that dream?
No,
Or?
so I was actually young. When I arrived to Australia, I was about 10 years old. So I went to primary school, obviously. And then after that, I went to, of course, high school. But I pretty much knew what I wanted to do. I was just studying just to obviously finish off the school, which is what every parent would expect out of their child. So yeah, that's what I
Okay.
tried to do.
Yes, yes, yes. So what was the first step you took to pursue that dream of hairdressing?
So pretty much when I reached grade 12, I started from there. I mean, even before that, I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos. I used to do my siblings' hair. I used to do my mom's hair just to practice, right? So then after that, after I finished school, I immediately started working at a salon, even though I had already created my own Facebook page.
Yes.
Just to obviously showcase my work and to get, recognized a bit more. That's how I started. So yeah.
So we know with hairdresser is a general term. You are a stylist.
Yes, I'm a hairstylist.
What's that involve? What is
So
it?
pretty much hairstylist involves you doing event hair, pretty much. Whether it's event, photo shoot, wedding, anything related to going into a formal place or even a dinner. You know what I mean? So that's quite different from a hairdresser. A hairdresser would really focus on cutting, coloring, performing other different services with hair. So yes.
A client came to you.
Yeah.
So what's the procedure there? What's the protocol? They'll tell you what they want,
Yes.
style, stuff like that. Then you add up your signature. Where do
Absolutely.
you start? What's the procedure?
So pretty much when they come in, I always like to ask, so what is the event that you are attending? It could be a wedding, it could be an engagement, it could be a dinner party, it could be a birthday, it could be anything. And then I ask them, so what would you like to get done, right? What's your outfit? What's your accessories, right? You want full glam, you want something subtle. And then they pretty much explain what they want. However, I still like to see photos. I still like to see reference of what they actually like. So this is how we go. We start from there, and then we obviously develop the idea, and then we go on.
I'm sure you need to get their demand or satisfy them what they want.
Of course.
But in the end, need to be possible. Yeah, they
Yes.
can't just ask anything impossible. Depend on their type of hair.
Yeah, no, 100%. I
Yeah,
mean, that's how it works. We got to be very clear. And again, it all comes down to consultation. So I take my consultation very seriously, because if your consultation is right, nothing can go wrong, right? Unless the client has a different idea in their mind, and that's without showing you the photos. Some clients come in, they don't have photos, right? I try to show them, But even if it's not something that they like, I still go ahead either way because I kind of get the idea of they want. But if they like say are not happy about something in particular, we can always change that.
So it's their demand plus your signature. You combine your
100%.
idea with their. Otherwise, so in the end, the client need to be satisfied, like they're happy. Otherwise,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely,
But then in the end, you need an end product.
yes,
That's your signature there.
absolutely.
Let's say when a client came, I think I spoke with you before. I think about there's difference between stylist and haircut.
100%.
You read the client first impression. Let's say you know what I mean, like
Yes.
the face, the shape, the nose, the forehead, stuff like that.
Totally.
And on that, I think you develop your the style.
Yes, I do. So what I like to do, for example, sometimes they'll come in and they'll show me a photo. Let's say, let's talk about the fringe, which is the main part of the face and which is the end product sort of thing. So what I like to do, if they show me a photo and let's say the fringe doesn't suit the face shape, I always go and I explain to them why this type of fringe or this type of style wouldn't really suit your face, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So that's how we go on from there.
If I see a hairstyle, I would recognize your signature there,
Most people do by now.
or at least your client. I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most of my followers, since building that much, following on Instagram, most people can tell what my signature look is. But again, there are other stylists over there that try to recreate other artists' work as well. And sometimes it can be really close, which is great because we are obviously making the client happy at the end of the day.
Yes.
But those who follow me would obviously know
You are talented. You love that's a professional art,
of course.
and then you pursue it. Maybe you study, and but still in the end, you need to be a good handyman with
Yes.
with your things. So
Of
it's not
course.
just passion. You need to be really good with your hand.
100%.
Yeah,
100.
yeah,
I mean, that's how it all starts. Like when you love something, especially when you're at such a young age.
Yes.
As soon as you feel something, or as soon as you touch the profession that you want to be in, you know it automatically. Yeah. So for me, when I was young, as soon as I know I picked up that brush, I just automatically knew it.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? It's something that God has given us.
Exactly.
So it's a talent at the end of the day.
And study definitely add to that talent.
Oh yes, 100%. Study will of course develop your skill. It will develop the knowledge, and it will obviously make you more educated. I mean, in this industry, we are constantly getting educated because there's always new stuff coming out, new products coming out, new skills coming out. So we always have to obviously keep up with the trend and keep up with the education.
What's involved with the study? Is it the new material, new
So
style,
it could be,
trend?
yes. So it could be like, say, new hot tools. There could be new products. There could be a new, let's say, a new technique or something like that. Or, I mean, hair also involves science, right? Like behind it. So whether it's whether there's an issue with the scalp or whether there's something relating to the scalp, right? And then we have to study that, and then of course we have to also know what products would be able to heal or treat that sort of problem. Because obviously, when we get clients coming in, we always have to make sure that the client's hair is healthy, that the client's scalp is healthy. Sometimes if you see something, we have to pretty much let them know that, there's an issue going on.
In that case, so we're not talking about medical hair advice. It's just like observation.
Of course,
Observation.
100%.
When you say scalp, we're not talking about skin, yeah? No, just scalp.
Well, skin can be involved, of
Okay.
course. Sometimes people could be suffering from psoriasis, which is probably one of the most common things that I've seen. And it could just be, where the neck is, for example, right? It could be just like a dry skin. And I always like to inform them and just tell them that, this is going on. Some say I know, some say I don't know. Or another possible issue, which could be dandruff. It is so common, you know what I mean, or even hair loss. So it really depends, and it varies with, of course, every single client is different at the end of the day.
What's the healthy hair? How you spot if the hair is healthy or not?
Yeah, of course. So it could be healthy hair. I would define it by being, doesn't have to be long, right? Could be short, could be medium length, it could be long. But obviously when it's shiny, when it's thick, it just feels, you know, beautiful, and it doesn't tangle as much. Not a lot of split ends as well. You would be able to tell that these people actually look after their hair on a daily basis, and not just when they visit a salon.
So it's maintenance.
Of course, 100%.
How you maintain hair?
Obviously by using good products, using good shampoos, and of course taking care of yourself from within as well, not just the outside.
Involved even
So
diet,
of course, 100%. So like, and of course using treatment, doing different types of treatments as well. All of that involves.
Could be even medically there. Like I know with the skin there is what they call dermology.
Yeah.
With the hair, there is any profession there, like medical things?
I mean, yeah, there could be. Could be. Not that I've looked that much into it, but the simplest thing I could say is pretty much just taking hair vitamins, right? Just to obviously fill up any gaps that are, you know, within the body, or any deficiencies that the body, you know, goes through. So it would be obviously best to maintain those little things, just to, of course, have healthy, shiny hair.
With the hair, can you classify it? Can you see? Can you tell us like if there is type of hair, or how many type of hair there?
Yeah, of course. So you've got your frizzy hair, you've got your curly hair, you've got your medium to thick hair, you've got your thick hair, you've got your fine hair. So there's quite a few out there.
Anyone you prefer to use, like when you
work with?
Yeah.
I would probably say medium to thick.
Okay.
Yeah, not too thick and not too fine at the same time. But either way, I work with so many types of hair. But my preferred is would probably be medium to thick.
Ethnicity do a role there with the style? Like when I say Middle Eastern or stuff like that?
Yeah, so like, what are you trying to say, like the difference?
I mean, like, I know Middle Eastern, what we know, like either Syrian, Lebanese or something like that, it's there, the hairstyle is there, you know, you would recognize it, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, of course, 100%. And at the end of the day, that all comes down to the client's taste, and to what the client likes, you know, what the client likes to do or wear as a hairstyle.
So you don't specialize in any type of, like in particular hairstyle. It's what client
Not
want,
really,
and that's
exactly.
it, and then you add your signature.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
How do you stay? I think you said this by study. How you when you finish study, you're practicing, and when you're practicing, you're working, and you're developing. I think sometimes.
100%.
How you keep up with the trend? Actually, what's the trend, and how you keep up with the trend?
So the trend at the moment that we are going through is pretty much staying as simple as possible. Whether, you know, you've got your classic wave, you've got your wet look, you've got your sleek ponytails. So it really depends. There is a variety out there, which is good. Keeping up with the trend is obviously having the access to social media at all times. You know, whether it's your Instagram, whether it's your TikTok, but I would say Instagram is probably one of the most used apps today. I mean, even though TikTok is taking over, but Instagram is still out there.
So is it the social media?
100%.
Who started the trend? Is it like celebrities?
Well, I would believe so. I would believe like celebrities, influencers that, you know, that like to put things out there to make things popular, and yeah.
So when we see this hairstyle, we consider them outrageous, but without realizing within 5 years, we're copying them.
Exactly.
And then until we catch that point, already there's someone 5 years ahead of us.
Exactly right.
Okay,
yes.
so it's that's the way it's going.
Pretty much.
Okay. How you balance between your work and creativity?
So pretty much, I plan out my days. So let's say throughout the week, I like to create content for my social media and of course for my followers to see. And then during the weekend, so let's say from Friday to Sunday, this is when I dedicate all of my time to my clients and my work. But obviously, creating content can take up to so much time, which is why I prefer to do it before, like, not during work, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So I like to do it at a different time.
There is a follow-up with your client, like with that service, like to keep up the client coming back. Do they, like, let's say, call you or get advice or questions about their treatment or hair?
100%. So I do have some clients messaging me, asking me questions out of hairstyling. So they would ask, for example, what's the best shampoo that I could use for my hair, or what's what's the best treatment to treat my hair, whether it's split ends or whether it's being damaged from excessive heat, sun, brushing, all of these sort of things. So there is absolutely, yes. But in terms of a follow-up, I usually get messages from clients complimenting my work and saying how much I love their hair, and saying how much how many people went up to them and told them that they love it. And usually that ends with, I will definitely be back.
You collaborate with other stylists just to keep up with the trend?
100%, yes. So I do collaborate with makeup artists. I do collaborate with models, influencers, and we create a masterpiece, and we obviously take it out to social media.
With the product still, I think the people who produce this product, they approach you, or you approach them through maybe like what do you call that?
We do have a lot, yeah. So we do have a lot of companies that like to reach out to influencers, hairstylists, makeup artists to obviously promote a product that they are trying to get out there. Sometimes I actually go up to companies and I inbox them and tell them, hey, I used your product and this is the final outcome. So I just like them to see what I've created in case they've missed it, because obviously a lot of the hair companies out there are quite huge, especially using good products, and sometimes your work goes unrecognized because they don't tend to see it, or they don't tend to get the notification or anything like that.
What's the challenges you have, like on daily basis as operational, like with your, what do you call it, studio? What do you call it, salon?
Salon, you can say a salon. Yeah.
Well, what's the challenges there?
I would say keeping up with the trend, trying to stay on top of it at all times. That would probably be one of my biggest challenges out there. Yeah.
What motivates you every day morning when you wake up and you're starting a new day job? What's motivates you there?
Obviously, being grateful for what I have, being successful and where I have come today and where I stand today as well. Of course, without the hard work, without success, without God in our life, none of these stuff would really actually be possible. So we really have to get up every day, and we really have to appreciate where we stand and really thank ourselves, because sometimes we can be harsh on ourselves and sometimes we get to criticize ourselves a lot. So it's great when you take the time and really feel the gratitude and just being grateful.
So it's not like only talent and luck. There is a hard work there.
100%.
Tell me about the book. We have here a book.
Of course.
What's motivate? I mean, what came into your mind to write the book?
Yes.
How you started with it, and what's your aim of that book?
So this is called $1 Million Hair Hacks. That was published, I would say, last year in April. So I'll take you back 3 years. 3 years back, I was actually having a coaching lesson with my business coach, and I said to her, I post a lot of hairstyles out there. I post a lot of content, but I feel that my viewers are actually not getting value out of those, out of my posts. Yes, it's great to see a hairstyle, but what's the value there? Then she said to me, we're going to come up with a business concept and I'm going to help you obviously give that value to your clients. So she challenged me to do 365 hair tips to write and to post every single day.
350 tips.
65, yes. So for 1 year straight, I was actually making a post every single day with a hair tip.
I noticed, I think, in your Instagram.
Yes, whether it was a tip or whether it was a hack. Yes. So during that time, every time I would post a tip, I actually copied that tip, put it onto Word, and I started editing it for the book, of course. Now, when I was doing my hair hacks, I actually didn't tell anyone that I was creating a book. I really wanted it to be completed. Then I would, of course, announce it. After that was done, I would say a couple of months after, I actually announced that I was coming up with a book, and we called it $1 Million Hair Hacks.
So it's tips. It's about what? It's maintaining hair.
So pretty
styling.
much, yes, maintaining your hair. We also have some hairstyles in there, and it has so many chapters. You know, your blonde hair, you've got your curly hair, you've got your frizzy hair. We've got hair science in there, and we also have recipes as well. Our hair mask recipes and so many other different types, different type of things that are involved with hair.
So a prospective buyer or client, if they read your book, they end up with what? More knowledge of
Of course, 100%. Yes. So they could pretty much look at the index and they could go through they could literally select the category which is going to be most suited to their hair type. And as soon as they open it, they'll see tips and hacks over there, and they don't even have to use all of it. They could just use one or two, and that could be
applicable to them.
100%, and it could also be a huge game changer for them.
Okay. What's the average amount you spend on a hairstyle?
I would say 45 to 50 minutes max. Sometimes it can go over 1 hour, but again, that just depends on the hair type, the length, the hairstyle actually holds better and it looks better, and it won't be as complicated or hard to style it.
What's the earliest you can start? You start with the job a day, because I notice our community sometimes they start 3-4 o'clock morning. They
to be
out,
honest
you know
with
what
you,
I mean?
this is not really just our community, even outside of our community. Okay. So I've worked with so many different other communities, and sometimes we start at 3 or 4 a.m. It really depends when the ceremony is. It really depends how many people they have in a bridal party. Yes. It really depends when the photographer's going to come. So yeah.
So there's a pressure there. If she come with her 3-4 bridesmaid, what do you call it, or her sisters and mothers, and there's time there.
Yeah, it can be quite challenging, yes. Not in terms of doing the hairstyle, but just in terms of being on time and trying to make sure everybody finishes on time.
And definitely, you need to deal with her stress. I think,
of course.
With stuff. Now, our part as a husband or dads, I know, like with that day, there is no food already been ordered the food day before, you know what I mean, taking care of kids and stuff like that. So I think the mothers or girls, they have more work or more stress that day than normal day.
Yes, 100%. They have so much. Like sometimes I'd be getting clients coming in and sitting down and be like, and just looking at the time constantly, as they just want to finish and go back and get their kids ready, yes. or sometimes they'll be sitting down and the husbands will be calling them. Yeah, so all of that involves. Yes, so there is a lot of pressure on the women on that day.
Why that? Why all that hassle? Is it like the look? Is it to impress? Is it to self-satisfaction? Because I think men, we don't appreciate that. Like, you know, I mean, the amount of effort women put for their look.
100%.
I think we don't appreciate that.
I think as well, because the mothers are just so busy on a daily basis looking after their kids and trying to maintain the house and trying to keep everything up with the work that they do. So they really need some time to themselves as well. So I think this is what they lack as well. So that moment for them is probably everything.
Are you strict with your timetable? Like if there is a 5 days work, let's say, you start from particular time to finish particular time, or no, you are flexible?
Not really. It really depends on the bookings. So I can choose when I want to work. I can choose when I want to take off. I can choose whether I want to start early or whether I want to start, late. But majority of the time, because I'm a wedding hairstylist, I do start early every single week, or nearly every single week.
Is it secret? Like there's a waiting time with you?
Look, it really depends. The earlier you get in, the better. That's what I always say. Like like sometimes I get messages, how far in advance do I have to book with you? And I just have to be like, you know what? The earlier, the better. Even if it's next year, let me know. You'd rather get in than miss out, because we're in 2023, and I already have bookings for next year, and that's mainly bridal though. Yeah. So the biggest advice I would give is the earlier, the better.
But if you are booked already full book,
Yeah.
maybe if there's cancellation, you might call someone like
100%. Yes. Yeah. So that's what I always do. I put my brides on the cancellation list, and if anything goes wrong or if anything happens, I always go and contact those that have contacted me before.
Is it exhausting, your work?
It can be, yes. It can be very exhausting trying to keep up.
Physically and
Yes, 100%. Physically, emotionally, everything. So trying to keep up with clients and trying to keep up with the admin work as well.
there's still admin work.
Of
like,
course.
yeah.
Admin work is like another full-time job.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Any future project or expanding, let's say, franchise?
I do, not in terms of that, but I do want to, I am starting to get into the education side of my industry. So that's been quite in demand, for the last couple of months, I would say. So that's the next step that I want to take. And yeah.
So it'd be like you're talking about mini academy or something like that, like.
We could say something like this.
Yes.
Yeah, we could say something like that, or even just educating, in groups, or even doing like say master classes like that, just to, of course, inspire people and just to put out the education out there as much as possible.
Will be most likely like theory and practical, like.
We don't really have theory, okay. So the theory is with us, especially when it comes to hairstyling, it's just people taking down notes of what I say or what other artists will say.
What's your advice for young people who want to get on this art or business?
Yeah, well, whether it's in this industry or not, never give up. That's all I'm going to say. I did face myself some challenges when I wanted to be in the industry. I never gave up. If you know that this is the industry or this is the talent you want to pursue, keep going. I know that our community can be quite harsh, especially the parents, because I know that obviously the parents, they want the best for their children, but sometimes they don't let the children choose what they exactly want. So all I'm going to say is just keep doing what you're doing, keep hustling, and keep working.
But definitely parent want for us the best, you know what I mean? Sometimes maybe overprotective or something like that.
Yes,
but,
no, 100%. Like, I know that when I grew up, my parents didn't personally come and tell me, but I knew it. They wanted me to go to uni, they wanted me to study, they wanted me to, be being in business or being in lawyer or anything like that. You know what I'm. So if you really want to do that, if you love that, that is, absolutely amazing. But if that's something outside of your box and you're only doing it to satisfy other people, it doesn't matter whether they're your parents or not. At the end of the day, you probably won't end up happy where you're being. And if you do, that's a success. That's great.
So you think you are blessed, like with the
100%. Yes.
As an industry, hairdressing, is there like institution or academic stuff like that? They welcome newcomers, or they support newcomers, like first steps.
Look, not that I know of. I know that if you want to be in the industry or if you want to start, the first thing I would say is maybe like go to TAFE, which is a constitution that we have here in Australia, or maybe just go to a private academy or anything like that, and you can get started from there. That would be probably the best idea. But again, it all comes down to how much you really love what you do. Usually people that go to academies or go to like say TAFE or something like that already have some sort of knowledge or experience in hair, even if they don't know everything, but they know what they want.
Do you need lesson for hairdressing or stylist?
I guess only if you if you want to become a hairdresser, and if you want to work with chemicals and, you know, such as color, such as lighteners, and so many different other products, then yes, you would definitely need it.
Any last word you want to say?
I think you've asked me everything. I've said everything, but honestly, with all honesty, thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it. It was such a pleasure to be here and to obviously share my life with everyone and share the experiences that I've been through. And yeah,
Andy, thank you. It was honor and privilege to have you.
likewise. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
I
Thanks for your
appreciate
time.
it.